also hosted a summit of the OSCE, which is whose mandate focus is cooperation, security as well as economic in Europe and Asian countries which are close to Europe. So I would say it is a link between Asia and Europe, and it's a pivotal country in terms of its economic strength and its location, its landmass. From that angle, the relationship, the bilateral cooperation has a lot of potential and has a lot of importance.
Right. So, Major Saab, the other thing we talked about the rail link, but I believe the Kazakh Prime Minister has also made a request that PIA commences a flight from Islamabad to Astana, which is just a 2.5 hours flight, and this will play a major role in developing our trade relations.
I would fully support that request and the thing like that. I would not only say from Islamabad, I would say even link Sialkot with Kazakhstan. Leather products, as the ambassador mentioned, all originate from Sialkot, and there's a lot of business. So Sialkot businessmen, they are very rich and they are very strong in their business, and they have opened up their own airport, international standards, you know. And it should also have a link with Karachi, because Karachi is your commercial hub. The importance of air travel cannot be ignored at any cost, you know. And 2.5 hours or maybe 3 hours or maybe 2 hours, we need an air link with Kazakhstan. Not only with Kazakhstan, we need air links with all the Central Asian states. Besides that, there's another factor which we must not ignore to develop the relationship between Central Asian states and Pakistan. Pakistan has a very strong education base. It is offering diversified systems of education. We must offer education to the Central Asian students, you know. We must get them on free scholarships. We must get them here and let them study in the faculties that they want to. And that exchange in the long run is going to be very, very beneficial for the relationship of Pakistan with the Central Asian states. And this is one area that we are totally ignoring, and I don't know why. But if we put in some few billion rupees on this sector...
Actually, sir, we are not ignoring, if you permit. We are giving a lot of stress, and actually it's a two-way traffic. We are also sending our students over there. If you recall the latest problems we had, I mean, Kyrgyzstan had problems, but our Foreign Office had to bail out our students to save them, because they were there in thousands.
A lot of medical students.
Medical students.
You see, from here they are going there because of cheap medical colleges, not quality-wise, but cheap in the financial...
Affordable.
Okay. But the education base as such, Pakistan has a much larger base, and Pakistan being a larger country, if you see the ECO composition, Pakistan is the largest country as far as the population is concerned, 180 million. Total ECO population is 440 million. So in that context, Pakistan is in a better position to afford and to extend more scholarships to more and more students from Central Asia, because the more students they come here, they will be acclimatized to your culture, to your language, to your day-to-day life, and then they will be your long-term ambassadors when they go back.
Right. There's another aspect from the diplomatic point of view. One very important announcement which the Prime Minister of Pakistan made was relaxing of visa regime. How do you look at that, sir?
Well, that is important for promotion of people-to-people as well as trade relations. This is a positive thing. Pakistan must have a relaxed visa regime with these countries, because visas have been a problem. And particularly with Kazakhstan, we should not be apprehensive at all, because Kazakhstan has been almost free of any terrorist activities. It's a country which is predominantly Muslim, but very moderate. If you look at the number of ethnic Russians over there, they're still 25%. From the other Central Asian republics, after they became independent, many of the Russians flew back to the mother country out of fear. But the flight from Kazakhstan has been the least. So that means that the Muslims over there are very moderate, they're educated. The rate of literacy is 97%. People are fluent. So I think a relaxed visa regime, and in fact We used to have it earlier on when in the 90s when, if you remember, these briefcase tourists used to come from all these Central Asian countries to make purchases from Karachi and take them back to their countries. That was a useful activity. It gave a lot of fillip to the small trade industry in Karachi. There is a need to revive those activities and also to revive trade over land from Pakistan.
Talking about trade over land from Pakistan, as the ambassador says, let's talk about communication, because communication was again a topic discussed by both the prime ministers, and Kazakhstan is interested in the means of communication because, as both of you agreed, that they want access to Gwadar as well as Karachi because it's a landlocked country. So what more needs to be done on this?
When we talk of communication, it's not only rail or road or air communication. Telecommunication is a very, very important ingredient. If you ignore telecommunication, your trade cannot progress. And we must have a proper telecommunication on the same lines that we have with the other European world and things like that. Now, making a call from Pakistan to America just costs you about ₹1 or ₹2 a minute, you know. Previously, when within Pakistan, from Islamabad to Karachi, used to be ₹100 a minute. So the expensive zone for international calls is the Central Asia now, because we do not have any such coaxial cables going there. We need to work on those. And once we have an easily affordable telecommunication, which includes internet and all those facilities, your trade is bound to get a jump. And that is one sector that Pakistan must look into, and it must develop as fast as possible. And talking about the visa regime should not only be affordable for the businessmen, it should be affordable for the students, it should be affordable for all other professionals who want to visit Pakistan. If I would
including tourism, because
yes.
I believe, and you've been there, so
I was coming to that.
It's a beautiful country.
I was coming to that. If I would not mind giving them visas at the airport. Let them fly in and stamp the visa at the airport. After all, we must develop confidence in our own systems. We must develop confidence in the visitors that they're coming, and we must have our system so efficient. If there is any wrong entry, we must be able to track that person.
But they are developing now from an agro-based to a market economy, and that is what this particular visit was focusing on, to tap in on their market economy. How far do you think we have made progress after this visit?
Well, we have identified areas, energy being number 1, communications being number 2, trade being number 3. So the right kind of areas have been identified. Now we have to build on those. The agreement has to be signed, but many agreements are signed and then, then they are forgotten. We have to follow up on these agreements. We were talking of TAPI and the energy corridor from there. I think we have to make a comparative analysis. TAPI right now faces the difficulty that it has to pass through Afghanistan. And Afghanistan has been a problem. I remember in 1992, the then Chairman WAPDA, General Zahid Ali Akbar, was pulled out of the World Cup in Australia and flown to Pakistan to sign an agreement for import of electricity from Tajikistan. The poor fellow was not even allowed to continue seeing the final where Pakistan got the cup. We signed the agreement in a hurry without any homework, and then we suddenly realized that there is Afghanistan in between. How do we bring the electricity? So we have to do the comparative studies of not only, I think Kazakh energy corridor is very promising in the sense that the area in between, Sinkiang and then northern areas, is all very peaceful. And then we have to see the cost of TAPI and then the cost of energy coming from Iran, and make a comparative analysis. And there is no harm in keeping 2 options, the option from Kazakhstan as well as from Iran.
Right, that's a very important consideration. But let's talk about, I mean, both of you have been alluding to the situation in Afghanistan, and I must say that the Kazakh leadership was very eloquent in praising Pakistan's role in the war against terror, as well as recognizing the sacrifice Pakistan has made. But now the time has come to talk about getting this place into order and making sure that peace prevails. What can be done?
You see, here I would add one thing very clearly, that America may be announcing that they are pulling out of Afghanistan, but they are not pulling out. They are here to stay. The way they are making investments and their infrastructure, especially the military infrastructure, that indicates that they are here to stay. The role may change. They may subcontract, they may outsource various other activities to some private companies and things like that, like Blackwater and all that stuff, but they are here to stay. Now, keeping that in mind, we've got to work around our interests, our relationship with Afghanistan and with Central Asia. So this is where your fine diplomacy will come in. This is your other acumen would come in, and Americans will.
The ambassador gave us an option, saying that we have the alternate route coming from China, from Kashgar region.
You see, that should be as a secondary option, because that is going to be a longer channel and it's going to cost you more. If you come directly, it is going to save you time, it's going to save you money, it's going to save you a lot of efforts. So you got to secure that corridor, you got to make some arrangements with Afghanistan, you got to take the Americans on board, whatever it is, and you got to work out your passage through Afghanistan for this rail link or whatever it is.
Right. So, Ambassador, we are coming to the end of the program. I would like you to please sum up what all we have discussed.
Summing up, I think it's a very important visit. It's a timely visit, and we have to focus, as our diplomacy is now focusing more on the region to develop trade, economic, commercial, political, military linkages with our neighbors, because this is the area which is nearest to us, and it makes sense to have more and more cooperation with your neighbors, and to develop complementarities in trade and in other areas of cooperation, what we can offer to these countries.
Right.
And I would mention, we had a mention
very briefly, sir, now we are very short of time.
Yes, education. We have trained the Central Asian diplomats. We have given them courses in English language, and I think it was a very useful thing. We must continue with that. This is a very important area for us, and we must focus on it.
Right.
So one last contribution I would like to make.
Very brief, sir, 30 seconds.
Please mold your media to transmit programs in their languages.
Right. That's a very important suggestion. Viewers, with that we come to the end of this program, and both of our participants made some very stern and very concrete proposals. We hope that they are adhered to by the policymakers. I would like to thank you for watching this program, and I would like to thank my participants for participating wholeheartedly. Viewers, keep us abreast with your feedback on our email address. See you next time, inshallah. Allah Hafiz.